you have claps, great works. But I think, yes, we can maybe, if there are questions, people can also ask on the second presentation. I'll pass the word now to Aviva Yamani, which is our host, chairwoman for the next two talks. So hello, Aviva, good evening.
Good evening. What time is it now for you? Good morning.
Yes, that's good morning for us here. So could you please introduce the next presenter?
Okay, so we will move to the next presenter. I will invite Priscila Doran to talk about citizen science in education. Citizen science in education with the OTTERS project. The time and the floor and yours. You have 20 minutes, and we will remind you 2 minutes before the presentations end.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction. Hi, everyone. While I share my screen, I would like to ask everyone to write in the chat where you are living now. Where are you watching us from? I'm really curious. Oops, I need to find my presentation. Okay, do you see my presentation?
We do,
yes,
but not in presentation mode.
Now you're doing presentation mode?
No, you have the wrong window.
Always happens. Okay, let's try again. Do you see in presentation mode?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay, so now I don't see the chat, but I hope that everyone can contribute and just say where you are from and make any questions you want. So today I have the pleasure of presenting to you the OTTERS project, which relates to citizen science for water stewardship. I'm having trouble passing on the slides. Okay, so I am Priscila, I work in Núcleo, and I am representing the OTTERS team. Núcleo coordinates the project in Portugal, but the project is coordinated at an international level by the American University of Armenia. And we are 12 partners in total, distributed to 9 countries. And our main goal with the project is to promote societal transformation for the scaling up of citizen science and to promote awareness and caring for marine and freshwater bodies. What is citizen science? Although a lot of us think that we know what citizen science is, we have been noticing that many people are actually not aware. So citizen science is the process of citizens participating in the scientific process. They can either generate data, they can analyze data, they can be the ones creating and leading the campaigns, etc. Citizens can participate in their own terms in a citizen science process. For example, have you ever used Waze or any other navigation programs that are powered by people? This is a really nice example because if I am using this app and I am driving my car, and if I find, for example, a bump in the road, I can notify the app, and this app will generate information and warning systems for other users. And then when a second person goes into the same place I went, the app will ask, do you agree that there is a bump in the road? And this person will say yes. So this is an app that is powered by people. And citizen science is just like this. Citizen science is opening the doors of science to the power of people. And this has so many benefits. It can help us to increase the amount of data that is collected with minimum costs, which is very important. And it can improve the transparency and accuracy of data. Everyone will know how the data is being gathered and who is gathering the data. So it has a fundamental part in the democratization of science, making science universal and with equitable access to everyone. It is also very key in measuring the Sustainable Development Goals because there is so much data to be collected for these goals that if everyone is contributing, we will reach much further. I made a quick search of the trends in citizen science in the last few years, and these are just 3 graphics from the many I found, but all of them show a wave that shows that citizen science is increasing. We have a lot of projects nowadays, and this is both amazing and both chaotic because we are lacking standards. So what is happening is that each citizen science project is collecting information in their own specific way, and then they are very different from each other, and we cannot compare the data. And this is where the project OTTERS comes in. It is a Horizon Mission Ocean project. It is related to several sustainable development goals. And it comes with the goal of promoting best practices, common methods and standards so that we can start comparing the data collected by different citizen science projects, also increasing the accessibility and the usage of this data. And also to promote what we call the Spring to Sea campaigns that aim to put all the existing citizen science projects in highlight. We don't want to create any new citizen science projects in OTTERS, but we want to highlight everything that already exists. And most importantly, through all of this and through education, we want to change hearts and minds in related to the importance of water, of protecting it, of monitoring, and etc. But why are we talking about citizen science and education? How are they related? How can they benefit each other? If we think about it, a long, long time ago, this is what education most probably looked like. You know, kids would learn while they were totally involved in their community life, and while learning, they would be contributing to their community, to solving the problems, to the daily lives of their society. But then society kind of evolved, and we developed this educational system where we put kids inside 4 walls, all sitting facing one person talking to them. And after 12 years, more or less, we finally agreed that they are ready to start contributing to their society. And this model was created during the Industrial Revolution, where we needed to prepare students for very specific lines of work. And this worked, this was okay. But Earth continues evolving around the sun, and society continues evolving. And now we have computers, we have tablets, we have smartphones, a million social media platforms, we have Google and other search engines, and most scary of all, we have now OpenAI, which is completely revolutionizing education and society. So society is completely different from what it was during the Industrial Revolution. The needs of our students are completely different, but education remains pretty much the same. So we are still using a model that is made to prepare students for very specific lines of work. And now we have to think, what work, what jobs? You know, it's completely impossible to know what jobs will exist just in a few years from now. Furthermore, the existence of OpenAI and Google and other search engines is that the information is one click away. And this is awesome. It is fantastic because it allows us to shift education and to promote an education that goes much more in line with the needs of the 21st century, but also has cons. You know, all the information is just one click away. And it is completely impossible nowadays for students to understand what is real information from what isn't real. And even artificial intelligence generating systems provide false information. So this is very dangerous, and never it was more important to revolutionize the educational models to prepare students for this job. And for who is not understanding, these are just a slide that is making fun of 2 images that are promoting the flat earth theory, for which many students nowadays believe that it is true. So we talked about the Sustainable Development Goals, and we have reached already the half-time of these goals, and only 15% of them are on track. All of the others are completely delayed. So this is a message, and if it's not screaming enough, it should be shouting with everyone, saying that we need to revolutionize education. We need a different education that is targeting the priorities of the world. We need to prepare students for a world of information and disinformation. We need to prepare students to be adaptable for a very, very uncertain future. We need them to have new ways of thinking and of solving problems, because the ones we have nowadays are definitely not working. And most of all, we need to educate students to believe in themselves enough to share the most revolutionary ideas that might be just the ones we need to solve these problems. And I'm just showing here 2 studies that were made by UNICEF and by World Largest Lesson with a lot of students throughout the world. And they all agree that if they could change one thing in their education, it would be to develop more skills and competencies to become prepared for their future. Students are not at all happy with the education that they are receiving today. So how can we solve this? Obviously, there are many different ways, and many presentations in this conference have been showing so many wonderful ways. But today I'm going to talk about citizen science, which is a tool that can solve many of these issues. Citizen science can bring students closer to the most contemporary scientific problems, so they can understand science deeply and they can develop a trust in science. It also promotes the active learning of the curriculum. So students are not only looking into computers, into books, but they are actually interacting with life and real life problems to learn. So this brings a whole other meaning to the learning process. While this is happening, they are developing a lot of life competencies. And most important of all, this process motivates action. It shows students that they can become active citizens of their communities. And although schools are the most critical environment to foster the development of competencies and awareness in students, they can and they should become hubs for community development. I don't know if you have any idea of what is the percentage of the population that is represented by students in Europe or in the world. Does anyone have an idea that wants to write in the chat? What is the percentage in the world that is represented by students? I don't see what's written in the chat, but then I will check afterwards.
You have 67%, 20%, 25%,
okay,
30%, 10%. People have no idea.
I also had no idea, and I searched for it. And the latest information I found was that in 2021, in Europe, it was 25% of the population was represented by students. And this equals to 91 million people. And we usually talk about students and education as the seeds that we are planting for the future. And we kind of forget that they are citizens now and that they can have a role in our community now. They are actually very willing to solve the problems of the world. And if we give them the chance, they might have really wonderful ideas that we just have to listen to. So schools have a really important role in citizen science. They can contribute to generate more data, to have more ideas and more solutions to the most contemporary scientific problems. They can have a very significant role in raising awareness in the communities, when giving the chance of students to become agents of change. Schools can also contribute to the sustainability and scaling up of citizen science because they can repeat the projects every year, giving continuation to the project. And in OTTERS, we want to work with the educators. This is a project that is active now. We are working with educators and we want more to create a roadmap that promotes the systematic integration of citizen science into the curriculum. So we had already an engagement activity in Portugal. We had a lot of participants, as you can see, spread around, around the country, and we were able to achieve this because we did it online. We discovered that most educators, although they say they know what citizen science is, when we ask them to define it, they show that they are not fully aware of what citizen science is. And when we ask if they have ever participated in a citizen science campaign, most of them say, yes, I have once gone to a beach to clean it. And this is not exactly citizen science because we lack the part of generating data, for example, to become citizen science. So there is a big need to promote the concept and to actually show to the educational community what citizen science is and the important role that it can have also in education. We did a SCOT analysis, which is a strengths, challenges, opportunities, and threats. And although we had over 100 participants, as you can see, those little squares show the answers. So almost everyone had the same answers, which shows that there is a very coherent approach that we can take to solve the problems. For example, they show that they are all very, very motivated. They believe that this is very important for the world right now. And they find a strength when they can have collaborations and synergies with their colleagues within the school, but also with external stakeholders like research institutes, science centers, and etc. They find that they have a weakness when they don't have the support from outside the school, when they don't have colleagues to work with them, when their students are not motivated, and also what we already all know, when they have extensive curriculums and lack of time. So we are using all of these answers to realize that we can actually support educators. The goal of OTTERS is to support the schools to establish partnerships with external stakeholders. We ourselves are contacting these initiatives and putting them in touch with the schools to promote this mutual support. We are providing professional development opportunities, giving educators the strength, the empowerment they need to actually make this change. And within these opportunities, we foster collaboration within the school so that the teacher is not feeling alone, but has a team to back them up. We are creating awareness campaigns to motivate educators and students, and we want to join hands with everyone that wants to together with us to advocate for policies to promote the integration of citizen science in the school's curriculum. In all of these activities, we have a co-creation moment where we ask educators to select one existing citizen science campaign around their school and to map how this can be integrated into their curriculum, how their students can learn from this initiative, and how their students can support the collection of data and support this initiative, which will be integrated in our roadmap. And we are now open to everyone who wants to work with us, to support us, to be part of the professional development opportunities, no matter your country. So you are more than welcome to register your interests. Okay. Aviva, do you want to say something?
No, I'm
2
sorry.
minutes?
Yeah, you have, 1 more minute.
Okay.
No worries.
So you can use the QR code to the left, want to join OTTERS if you want to join us, no matter if you are an educator, a scientist, just someone who is interested in citizen science, you can register there and we will contact you. And I will make you a very nice request from my colleague that is generating the campaigns from OTTERS. She has created a few questions for co-creation with everyone. If you can access, I will also paste this to the chat, the link. If you can just answer 4 quick questions to contribute to our campaigns, it would be awesome. And I am done.
Thank you, Priscilla. And really interesting project. I hope that we can collaborate sometimes in the futures. And
Thank you.
for the audience, do you have any questions for Priscilla? How about from the Facebook? Do we have questions? Okay, if not, maybe we can go to the next presenter because we don't really, we need to catch up with the time. Thank you, Priscilla.